Ellis here for LowKick, mate. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Adrian Yanez ahead of his fight with Davey Grant on November 20. How's it going, Adrian?
Hey, I'm doing good. Super excited, ready to go, honestly.
I just mentioned before we got started, it's Friday today, and I've always been curious about fighters in the midst of camp. Is there any respite on the weekend? You get to enjoy yourself and go off and do normal things, or is it all, it's just all work?
Man, honestly, I've been so on the go with a lot of things lately that I am looking forward to tomorrow just being just a relaxing day. So man, as soon as I got home, actually, because I just got back from New York, not too long ago. So I man, on the weekends, I just, if I want to do something, I just go up and get up and do it. But most of the times, I usually just chilling, just relaxing. But I think I got off the plane, went to go eat with the family, and then after that, we went to go see Venom 2. Yeah, and yeah. So pretty much anything relaxing or anything that I enjoy, I just go do.
Brilliant. And you just mentioned there you've been in New York training with a bunch of killers, Aljamain Sterling, Frankie Edgar. What was the experience like?
Man, it was really fun, man. Aljo, I learned a lot from Aljo just from being out there and how and just seeing all the high level guys that were over there. It was really phenomenal to see, and just being able to pick apart and see what I can add to my game and also what I add to my training camp and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool, and just seeing the different levels of just the different level of training, and then also the timing of training, because whenever I was over there, it was like I have a set schedule whenever I'm back at home. Monday through Thursday, I'm it's all filled. Friday's a little bit more open because I get to rest a little bit. But it's on the weekends I'm completely free. But over there it's Monday 2 sessions, Tuesday maybe 1 or 2. It was all over the place a little bit, especially with timing. But just being able to see what they do and how they do a lot of things, I was okay, this is pretty cool. I like it. So I am taking a couple of things from what they do and adding it to what we do.
Yeah, and in terms of Aljo, obviously he is the standard where you eventually want to be. He holds the title. He's the man in the division right now. Did you get to do some sparring with him? And if so, how did you find it? Was you gaining confidence from that, or was you thinking I've got a lot of work to do? What was the overall feeling?
Man, it's actually, I got both, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I got higher confidence, and also still knowing that I still have a lot of work to do. I'm always gonna have a lot of work to do anyways. That's the way I always put myself in, just because that's just the person I am. I'm never gonna be complacent, never gonna be that guy that is good enough just doing enough. But also too, it's those sparring rounds. Whenever I was moving around with Aljo, it's kind of how you think it would go. You got a high level striker in myself with a high level grappler in Aljo, so it's just one of those things that, yeah, I got the better of him on the feet, and he got the better of me on the ground. So it's just there's definitely things to learn from both sides, and it was pretty cool because I had heard him in his podcast talking about it. So it was pretty cool. He gave me a lot of props, and that was pretty dope on his part.
Yeah, and just while we're on the subject, Aljo obviously had to pull out from his fight at 267. I think he just wants till the start of the year, but then you heard DJ Dillashaw saying it doesn't look like he's going to come back from that neck surgery. He doesn't think he'll come back. Does Aljo look like someone who's on his way back to you?
No, yeah, absolutely, 100%. He's definitely going to be back. Honestly, I am myself. I am really health first, and just to be able to see him and how important he treats everything for himself, it's really good. It's I was really impressed, and just seeing him how he took care of his body. Shoot, I actually need to do a little bit more of what he does, honestly. Sometimes I just do the meathead stuff, just get my couple neck cracks, shoulder shrugs, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm good to go. He takes care of himself. So honestly, on my end, that's another thing I was able to pick up. But no, he's definitely going to be back. Just after moving around with him on that Wednesday, because he told me his schedule and how he was doing it. how everything kind of planned out like the week before. Like he did like almost no training, kind of just took the time just resting, went with the doctors and all that stuff. And then like he just literally almost didn't train for about a week. And then comes back and he's like, bro, like he feels better. And then whenever I moved around with him, he's like, oh no, he's feeling a lot better. Just the fact that the UFC and the doctors didn't let him fight. So honestly, but it's better for him to take the time off anyways, because man, like it's your neck, man. He got like the nerves, man. It's it can be really bad if you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Better safe than sorry on that one. And we will move on now. Obviously, last time out, you had a brilliant performance against Randy Costa. It was a fun build-up. It was a fun fight. But immediately post-fight, you weren't really happy with your performance. You're a bit critical. After it's time to reflect, how do you feel about that fight?
Man, at the same, as much as I want to sit there and be like, nah, man, you did good, you did good. No, it's always at the back of my mind that I need to be better. I need to do a lot more. I'm still not happy about my performance, but I'm happy with how everybody has perceived it. So if that makes more sense, I'm never really gonna ever be happy about a war or about a war of attrition. I would rather do everything as technically as sound as possible, just because I know I can do that. But yeah, at the same time, I'm really not. I'm still really upset with myself with how that fight turned out and how that fight went. Just because I just remember just being in that first round, just like getting popped with that jab and just being like, man, I gotta work on this. I gotta work on this. I gotta work on this. Like, oh shit, like there's a lot of things that were going through my mind, and I'm like, I still kind of just like put myself back in that scenario, and so like I'm constantly just like, nah, I have to work. I have to get better. I have to do something because man, at the highest of the highest of levels, you can't get away with that. So yeah, I'm still really harsh on myself on it, but I absolutely love the way it was perceived to everybody else. And if people love that, I don't want to give them any more, but at the same time, I am going to be looking forward to giving everybody else knockouts from me giving them knockouts.
Yeah, and you said obviously there's stuff to work on. Have you and your team kind of went back, looked at the tape, and identified areas of improvement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm telling you, me specifically, me and my training partner, Cam, we obsess over fights. We'll look at a fight and we'll continue to rewatch our fight. We'll literally stop it frame by frame and just see like, man, I should have done this, should have done that. Like I'll do that on my own. He does that on his own, and everything is just like we're really wanting to get better and trying to fix all our mistakes. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I did wrong in that fight, but also uh also during that fight, I was looking at what Randy was doing, and I was looking at what I was doing. He played it really smart for that first 3 minutes. He played it really smart. He knew how to keep my head centered, and he was better at cutting off the cage than what I thought he would have been. So yeah, a lot of props to Randy on that one. But I still got to get better.
Yeah, and as a great build up, great fights, and you seem to be in another one just coming up November 20. Davey Grant, who for my money's pound one of the nicest guys in the UFC. He's also one of the toughest guys in the bantamweight division. What do you make of Davey as an opponent?
Man, it's one of those that I'll say he's a formidable opponent. He's one of those guys that's gonna come across the cage, try to take your head off the whole entire time, and he's gonna have a smile doing it. So, to me, I absolutely love it because man, like you get two guys who have respect for other opponents in the cage, and that usually ends up being the banger of the fight. And with that being said, look at my last fight with Randy. We're both super nice with each other. Going into the fight, ended up being like honestly, we should have got fight of the night. It should have been fight of the night, but things planned out the way it did. It should have been, but but honestly, this Davey Grant fight, it excites me because I know he's gonna bring it, and he's not shy about what he's gonna do. He's trying to take your head off. He's gonna try to take your arm home. He's gonna try to do all he can. But that's up to me to stop him. I have to go out there and stop him. Be clean, be technical the whole entire time, and not give him an inch.
And comparing the last fight to this fight, can you not afford to have a first round like you did last time? In terms of eating a lot of shots, were you confident that you'll hold up to Davey's power?
Man, yeah, I don't like. I know Davey has power. I just don't want to touch it. I just don't want to feel it. Honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't want to go in there and like be like, no, I want to see what he has. No, I definitely don't want to see it. I don't want him to touch me. That's my plan. Is that I want to make sure that he misses. I want to make sure that he looks like he's shadow boxing, and I'm gonna be the one hitting a punching bag. That's the way I picture it. Is it really gonna go like that? No, I know he's gonna touch me. I know he's gonna hit me, but in all reality, I want him shadow boxing, and I want him being my punching bag. But it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a really, really tough fight. I know he's gonna bring it, and he's gonna step across the cage, try and knock my head off every single time. So I just gotta make him shadow box, pretty much.
And you said there that's how you see the fight playing out. How do you see it finishing? Do you think you're going to be able to stop him?
Yeah, he's. I'm telling you right now, he's hard to finish. But if I finish him, I deserve 50 G's. I'm saying that right now. I finish him, I get the 50 G's for being the first man to stop Davey Grant. I do believe I possess the power, and I do believe I possess the technique to be able to get him out of there. Second, third round, second and third round. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and a win in this one, it sets you up really nicely for 2022. We've seen Cheeto obviously got a win over Davey last time out. He's fighting Frankie Edgar now. A win here, moving into 2022. Do you want a ranked opponent next? How do you see it playing out?
Honestly, I'll see how the division kind of plans out, because I am going to take December, January, and February off, just for personal reasons. But I am going to take that time off just to be able to enjoy life a little bit. So I'll see how it is whenever I do come back in April, like in March, April, around that time, to be able to jump back in the cage. So I'll see. And honestly, anybody, at this point, I really don't care. Like I gotta make sure that I solidify my spot. I don't want to be one of those guys that gets jumped in too early just to get knocked back down out the rankings. So, and also I still have a lot to work on. So I just want to continue to build. So, set the right fight up for me right after I come back.
So you sound like a guy who prefers to go with the flow, take it easy. In terms of goal setting and things like that, do you have any solid goals in terms of by the end of 22, I want to be in this position, or is it just fighters to come?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I am really goal driven. I do want to be in the top 15, but also know the reality of this division, because this division is super stacked and super tough. This that number 15 spot has literally been like topsy turvy this whole entire time. It's like someone's 15, then someone gets knocked out at 15, someone's in 14, someone gets knocked back out. So I know the reality of this division, especially if I take the step out. If I take the step out for 3 months, then it's definitely going to be a different scene whenever I'm back. So looking at it, man, I definitely by the end of 2022, I definitely want to be in the top 10. Definitely don't want to be one of those guys that like takes the super easy fights, but at the same time, I know the reality of this division. You can get there's a lot of killers, man. These top 25 guys, just in the top 25, they all can put your lights on any given day. So you have to know that the rankings are going to be a little bit differently, are going to be in different positions. So you got to be able to guide your way into the 15 at the right moment.
Absolutely. And that's actually what I wrote down in terms of my next question. I was going to say 1 to 25, it's all killers in this division. How do you go about kind of making your way through them killers? Like, do you do a Sean O'Malley and kind of pick the nice fights until you're able to get a ranked guy, or do you just take whatever's coming at you?
See, I think what Sean O'Malley is doing, it's smart, but also at the same time, he's picked all of the right fights for the right times for him. But also those guys, the Super Bowl, he had some really Super Bowl favorable fights. Like, I'm not looking for like the guy who's coming off the couch for like 4 years in Eddie Wineland just so I can like knock him out in his first comeback fight, and then get another guy who was already on a losing streak in Thomas Almeida, who's already been away away from the fight game for like a couple years, comes back and gets knocked out by Sean O'Malley, and then he gets a guy. Well, he was no disrespect to Smoker, but I don't think stylistically that was a good fight for Smoker, because I definitely think Sean O'Malley was gonna beat him, but like those to me, those stylistically, those fights were Super Bowl favorable. Like he was probably like a minus like 500 for a lot of those. Like I don't want any of those fights. I don't want like the ones that I know like I just all I got to do is show up and just fight to my abilities and get the win. Like I don't want those. Like I want some good fights. I want some good like even like I know I'm gonna have to work my way up, so I want to be able to maneuver myself. Like maybe I don't fight this NCAA wrestler or something like that, or like just like even just like whenever you're doing jiu-jitsu, you might be the purple belt, but at the same time, like you don't want to face that black belt like in the absolute division. So you're like, all right, well let me smooth on and get this blue belt. Let me work my way up to get a rank, to get a medal. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I definitely want to fight, and I definitely want to have tough opponents. I don't want the easy route of having those fights being picked, like those cherry. To me, those are cherry pick fights for Sean. But at the same time, he's being smart in his business decision because he's doing it because he wants the most money. And which to me, I'm never gonna fault the man for wanting more money at the end of that, because you're trying to set yourself up, trying to set your kids up, and that inevitably that's what I want for myself. I want to be able to set my family up. So shoot, they don't have to work. I don't have to work. I don't have to do any of that. So it's smart, but also, if you're if you're an absolute fight fan, you don't like it, you don't respect it, just because you're like, man, like if you're a fighter's fighter, you don't care. And a part of me wants to be that. Like I'm always like I've had to be like told like no, because I had a broken hand, I had a broken nose. They're like, hey man, you want to fight in 2 weeks? And be like, oh, like yeah, I definitely go out there and fight. And then my coach would be like, hey, no, like you're injured, you have a broken hand, you have a broken hand, you have a broken nose, like you gotta stop, you gotta take a chill pill. So there's a lot of times where you have to pull yourself back, but there's also times where you need to know that, hey, there's a go, you have to go. So to each his own.
Yeah, I think that you just summed it up perfectly, because it's mixed responses from everyone in terms when you ask about that question. They get the financial size and the business size, but also as fighters, they think you should be pushing yourself. So I think you just perfectly summed it up. And we'll move on, because at the top of the division, as we mentioned earlier, Aljo's had to pull out of that fight. In steps Sandhagen for the interim title against Peter Yan. So I'm just interested in your thoughts on this fight and who might come out victoriously.
Man, I really like this fight for Cory. Just because, man, he's gonna be able to move around. If this is like actual like with fans, right? This isn't the Apex, right? This is actual stadium.
Yeah, it's in Abu Dhabi, so I'm not sure how many fans, if it's a full stadium or a smaller stadium. But it's
oh
there.
yeah, then if you're going overseas, you got the big cage. Yeah, he's gonna have room to move around, and from what I look at, like I see Peter Yan style. He's not flat footed, but he's not very mobile, if that makes sense. He kind of just one way. He's almost like a Terminator, who he just wants to walk you down. But with somebody like who's on their feet the whole entire time, like Cory Sandhagen, that's going to be really, really hard to do. And I really think that Cory Sandhagen, especially with the length, he has a lot of things going for him that I would put money on Cory Sandhagen winning.
Yeah, it'd be a great spot for him to be in, and it'd be an awful spot for the UFC, because you've got a fight that ended Jan Josta's title kind of on a technicality. You don't get to do that rematch. Sterling comes in, and then you get a rematch of Sterling where he's absolutely, ran through Sandhagen last time. So in terms of this division, by the time we've got a lot of players now, up Dillashaw, Aldo's up there too. By the time you're up there contesting with the top 5 fighters, who do you think's gonna have this belt? Will it be one of these guys, or will someone else pop up?
Man, yeah, that's a real hard one, man, because anybody in the top 5 can take each other out on any given day. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't think I think Jose Aldo versus TJ Dillashaw. I think that I would give that to Jose Aldo, but also I would give like Cory Sandhagen and TJ Dillashaw going against Peter Yan. I give it to Cory Sandhagen and TJ Dillashaw. But also vice versa, Yan versus Aldo. We already saw it once, and kind of would see that happening again. But like Aldo's like the mix, because he does know how to strike, he does know how to wrestle. I think it's a hard one, because I feel like he beats Cory Sandhagen again. But does he beat TJ Dillashaw or Peter Yan again? That's the if. So you don't know who can beat who in those scenarios, man. So it's like it's hard. I don't know who's gonna be like by the time I get up there. I don't know who I'd be facing. I would hope, just for my personal reasons, I would really hope it would be Aldo, just because it would be like the fantasy, like, man, like picturing like my dream, like just it would be like a dream state for me. Like if I go up there and I fight for the title, and you have Jose Aldo up there, and you're fighting for the title against Jose Aldo. I've dreamed of those moments before, because, hey, he's a legend. I was watching him since I was in high school. Just to be able to go in there and fight somebody like Aldo, that would have been pretty cool for the belt. Whatever, throw in some more like hypotheticals and me fighting in Houston. That would be pretty cool. But something that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be epic. And just before I let you go, we've got a few big fights going up that I'm interested to get your opinion on, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So first up, we've got the light heavyweight title is on the line. Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira. What do you make of this one?
Man, I really think that I really think that Jan Blachowicz is coming to his own, and he's been killing it as of late. I really think he's gonna hold this title for a little bit, especially with John Jones moving up to heavyweight and all this stuff that he's got going on. Like I don't foresee him coming back down to light heavyweight. I think he's gonna rule the division for a little bit. Everybody else in the division, I kind of just think aren't as good as him and doesn't have his power, because he's tightened up a lot of things in his game. But Glover Teixeira, if he can get him down, he can get the win. But I don't see it happening.
Good. I'm moving on to the next one. UFC 269. I think it's all but official now. Charles Oliveira against Dustin Poirier. Who have you got here?
Man, I got Dustin Poirier. I think he gets it done. I think he has the right style. He's also gritty enough. Like he's also gritty. Like he's the guy that's not going to give up, and he's gonna keep moving forward. Like, and he has the power to put away Charles Oliveira. So all he has to do is just stick to a right game plan. He'll get the win.
Absolutely, yeah. And finally, I think it's going to be UFC 270. Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane in an undisputed fight for the heavyweight titles. Who have you got?
Man, I am gonna go with Francis on this one. It's very slight, but it's also just the kind of like it's because man, Francis Ngannou is gonna have 5 rounds to land that one shot, and if he lands that one shot, it's usually over for the other guy. As technical as I think, as technical as Cyril Gane is, I'm just looking across the cage, and you just got freaking Francis Ngannou in front of you. If he can corner you, if he corners you on the cage, then man, it's a bad night for you. Or if he like catches you coming in, because that's one thing he's really good at too, is on entries with a lot of guys, he's able to catch you coming in. So shoot, I give it to Francis. I give it to Francis Ngannou. So yeah. Francis knockout.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic one, and it's an epic card as well with the Adesanya Whittaker fight supposedly on there. That is all I've got today. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
Oh man, no, I'm good, man. I got some hats on yanezmma.com. Get you one. I think I still have some shirts on there too. So yeah, that's it.
Still not got that Dr. Pepper sponsorship yet?
Nah, man, getting close though. Getting close.
Fingers crossed on that one, mate. Good luck with the rest of the camp, and good luck with Fight Night. Can't wait to watch, and hopefully we'll speak soon.
Man, thank you so much, man. Have a good one.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.